Yeah, we're recording now.
We're live.
We're live. Welcome back to Tales from the Crypto.
Tales from the Crypto. Episode, what are we on?
Episode 7.
7?
That's about 7 times more than anything else I've ever done in my life.
7 times. Yeah, that's a good investment. 7 times your money.
Yeah.
Put in 100, get 700. Just like that.
What a week, Strider.
What is happening? What's going on?
I think it's been actually...
It's been a little bit.
I think we missed a week
10
here.
days, 11 days.
I went out of town for a wedding. Have you been to Denver lately?
I have not been to Denver lately or ever.
You've never been to Denver?
Not yet.
It's interesting. It feels like it is the 90s. It's like, or Canada.
It's got like a Portland vibe thing. Like Portland 2010.
Yeah, but
was
yeah,
like the
exactly.
90s.
Portland's like Portland has surpassed it's Portland's cool now.
Do you think there's a migration from Portland to Denver, possibly?
I think that there is a migration to Denver in general because of nature, and also the lax marijuana laws that they have.
We're talking cannabis here. Yeah. Portland, they've got, or no, that's Seattle. They've got that going.
Washington State is making it legal in the
yeah.
same way that California is, which I mean, well, Washington is already legal, but California is going to be legal in January 1st.
It's coming up.
And they have, I think in Washington now, it's like the same way it'll be in California, where it's just like going into like a fucking 7-Eleven, you know?
Yeah.
In Denver, there is maybe different shops are different. The one that we went to this time was like half of it was medical, half of it was retail.
Like homegrown kind of stuff? Or what do you mean retail?
Well, half of it's just anyone can go in, and the other,
okay.
if you're
The other
21
half,
or whatever,
you need
you know,
like a specific.
you need a medical card to
Yeah.
go into one area. And I don't really know why they do that, because when I went in there, what I asked for was like, I want really high CBD weed, really low THC, so it's not very psychoactive.
It's more like a body high.
It's like a body high, you know, and doesn't make you all paranoid and stuff.
Cures your cancer kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's the stuff that they've basically have
Right.
genetically modified for cancer and other ailments.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't sell that on this side of the counter. You have to like get that medically. And it wasn't so much that it was like a legal issue. It was just more, I believe, that there's no demand.
The desirability.
Yeah. No one comes in there asking for weak pot.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Give me something really watered down.
So then we ended up buying this stuff called Willie's Reserve, which is Willie Nelson's brand.
Oh, his personal stash.
Yeah, his personal stash. And that was really mellow. And then I have another friend who's from LA who happened to be in Denver at the same time, and he was complaining on Twitter that the Denver weed was really weak in general. Because the place that we went was like a Starbucks, basically.
Starbucks for weed.
Yeah, and so I don't know if maybe if you're like a heavy pot smoker, like this kind of shit's like this like corporate weed or whatever is considered weak to you.
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for, I guess. I'm kind of on your side. I like something like middle of the road. I don't like that like crazy stuff.
I
These
want
kids are
like
smoking.
natural, whatever comes out of the ground, how it should be weed.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fucking. I want to eat like a tomato that tastes like I don't want genetically modified vegetables.
Food. You don't want
Food.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't want genetically modified marijuana either.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I want fucking the shit that's like the natural stuff. I want the Jesus stuff.
You think
Jesus juice.
You think you could buy with crypto one day at the weed store?
Well, this is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can buy. I mean, obviously you can buy weed with crypto, but the problem with it is right now. So I think we've spent like $90 on pot or whatever
for the weekend.
Yeah, we got like a couple joints. We got some like CBD oil that you can buy, but you can buy that anywhere now.
I think so. Yeah.
It's almost commonplace. And I think we got, what else did we get? And then we got like an eighth of this like stuff that the guy said was like super mellow. And because of the federal regulations, versus states, and the banking industry
Yeah.
not accepting money from these legal weed places.
Right.
The banks don't want it because these banks are federally insured companies.
Yeah.
They don't want to get in trouble with the federal government.
Yeah.
So when they run your card for $90 worth of weed, they basically run it in $5 increments, so that they can then, I guess it's sort of like a way to get around depositing.
Wow, that sounds like it's ripe for cryptocurrency.
Exactly.
That's like what Like, why isn't that guy getting an iPad and just
it's
selling?
fucking vending machines, man. It's the mafia. It's like
that way.
That's how organized crime works in with vending machines and things like this. They work in really small amounts of transactions.
For money laundering?
Yeah, for money laundering and just for
getting around legality.
Yeah, and your quarters and shit like that, because people aren't like paying attention. If you're making tons of small deposits, it's not gonna draw any like red flags as if you were to make like a $25,000 deposit at a time.
10,000.
You're depositing $5 here and there and there. That's so it is interesting because it's like they're basically trying to get around the federal law.
Right.
And at any time, like a fucking ATF agent could kick down the door and go in there and arrest everybody.
Wow, that's not going to happen, I don't think.
No, I don't think it's going to happen either, but I'm just saying it could.
Right, that's why they have these $5 incremental sales and all that. That's crazy.
There you go.
Wow.
So what's $6,000 on Bitcoin today?
That's what they're charging for a Bitcoin these days. Who would have guessed it?
I wonder what they're charging at. We still need to call that guy in the valley, but I wonder what they're charging at the ATM. Bitcoin ATM. It's probably like
9,000.
Yeah. Something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And people are paying for it.
Apparently. What do you got, Strider? I got nothing this week because I've been moving, so I haven't really been paying too much attention. And the fact that my fucking, I think the last text I sent you was all in on Neo. Fuck the world.
I was right there with you.
Yeah, and now our alts are just getting wrecked.
Not the right time, not the right move. The charts were looking good, but at that time,
I didn't lose anything.
I'll
say that much.
I'm there too. I mean, I might have lost a little bit, but I bought some more at the bottom, and then it came back up. I kind of balanced it out.
I balanced myself out. I didn't make any money, and I didn't lose any money.
That's how I'm feeling.
That's basically where I'm at too.
But I've kept all that in my wallet, so I'm making gas.
Right.
So even though I've kind of broke even on all those weird trades, I'm gonna have some gas at the end of the month to either buy more Neo with or. And I've done that too. I've successfully converted gas in my Neon wallet.
Yeah.
Sent it to my Binance account.
Okay.
And bought more Neo.
Interesting. Is Binance the only place you can do that?
You can do that with Poloniex.
Okay.
I didn't even realize that, but somewhere in the middle of September, Poloniex started trading gas.
But they don't have Neo, though.
They don't have Neo yet.
Interesting.
So people are wondering what the hell's going on with that.
I'm waiting for Bittrex to weigh in and get gas. I don't understand why they don't have it on there.
People are speculating that they're, keeping it for themselves.
Holding it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the way Neo works, there's like a public access, so you can keep your keys in this like public area where you're accumulating gas. So when you put it on when you put your Neo on an exchange, your keys are being stored publicly.
Right.
Which sounds weird, but it's basically just they're being stored in a public ledger where it's accumulating gas. Because Neo is the proof of stake cryptocurrency, which basically means if you have a certain amount of Neo in your wallet, you accumulate this thing called gas. It's like interest, basically, that you can then spend. Which is kind of an interesting concept.
I need to update my wallet and get my gas here.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to do that as soon as you get out of here.
It's working. Yeah.
It's on my list of things to do, actually.
Number one, get some gas.
My only thing I don't like about it is just the amount of the fucking times I've had to update it like 4 times already. It kind of drives me nuts that you have
the Neon wallet.
Yeah, you have to keep updating this fucking thing.
I've only updated it once.
Wow.
To the 05.
Anyways,
but yeah, it's new technology. They're trying to get the bugs out.
I get it. I understand. It's all like it's like user based. It's not like the Neon wallet is not created by DeHong Fui or whatever.
Yeah, or Microsoft. It's some
dude.
Some team of rogue developers that want to see this thing succeed.
Yeah. So that's cool, and I get that, and I'm not trying to bag on these dudes or whoever for doing it. It's just.
There was
It's just annoying that I go like, hey, how come my fucking shit doesn't work? And then I have to like go on Reddit and find out that I'm like behind on the updates or whatever. I don't get like an email saying like, or it doesn't just automatically update like my phone does,
Yeah. Well, maybe you could sign up for their email list or something.
Probably.
City of Zion or
It's
whatever.
City of Zion. What does that mean?
Not sure. It's the name they chose.
Sounds like some sort of
religious thing?
Jewish conspiracy sort of thing.
Zion. Isn't that...
Well, Zionist.
Didn't Bob Marley sing about Zion?
I don't really know.
We're not religious scholars, obviously.
No, of course not. But like they say Zionist, that's like an anti-Israel
right
idea.
I think it has to do with the Holy Land, Zion being some sort of...
My friend is shooting a film in Ramallah right now.
Nice.
So I text him and ask him.
He'll know.
Yeah, what that means.
We'll get back to you next week on that.
I was reading all about the conflict over there. It's much more complicated than I thought.
Where, Ramallah?
Well, the West Bank, Gaza, Israel.
It's complicated. Yeah. I watched a really good documentary, BBC documentary on that, like the history of it.
Yeah,
it's crazy over there. Recognizing the states and
sure,
Egypt getting involved in the...
Yeah, I don't profess to like understand it enough even to. Like,
I've got like a middle of the road understanding of it.
But I'd like to learn. It is really interesting. I didn't realize. I knew that there was some things that were right and some things that are wrong. I just had no idea how fucking complicated it is.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
it's like a bad relationship.
Yeah,
and they're trying to make it work, but neither side really wants to put in any effort to not kill the other person.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I have Jewish friends that are very anti-Israel, and then I have Jewish friends that are very pro-Israel. So that's very weird too.
That's the complication.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't need to get on that,
but yeah, back to Neo. When we made these big trades and we lost a little bit, made a little bit back in last week, 2 weeks ago. Neo was around 37, and then it crashed down to like 27, 25, 20 something. That all happened because of this Bitcoin fork, the hard fork that we talked about in episode 6.
Yes, and now when is the Bitcoin fork going
I believe
to happen?
It's happening on the 25th. The theory here of this month of October. People aren't going to be able to claim their Bitcoin gold until early November, though.
Right.
That's what I'm reading. Okay. There's a lot of weird stories online. I mean, I suggest everyone just do their own research.
Right, but we talked about this last week, and I asked you if you want to be able to get the new... It's going to be a new coin?
It's a new version of Bitcoin, the same way Bitcoin Cash is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to earn this new version of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Where do I need to hold my Bitcoin to do so?
That's up in the air. You got to kind of look around. I couldn't find any one place that said we're going to hold it for you, because it's a weird the way they're doing it. The thing is, there's a lot of, I don't know. You got to read up on yourself, because there's some sites that are saying you had to be holding Bitcoin in a specific wallet, which they're not saying which one, on October 1st. Okay. And even though the fork's happening on October 25th, you had to be holding your Bitcoin on October 1st,
right?
Which is when they started mining it, because they're doing like a pre-mine. They're mining 1% of Bitcoin gold before they give it to everyone that's holding Bitcoin gold.
It's going to be called Bitcoin Gold?
Bitcoin Gold.
That's the new version?
People are speculating online that it's going to cost 0.01 of a Bitcoin, in a similar way how Bitcoin Cash is supposed to float around 0.1.
This is going to be 0.01.
So they're saying it's going to be worth about $50,
right,
as opposed to $500.
Correct. Okay.
If Bitcoin's $5,000.
Got it.
So yeah, I did some calculations. So it looks like if what they're saying is true, it's about 0.01%, about $50-$60. That gives it a market cap of $800 million.
Okay.
So I don't know how that factors into the whole.
Is this going to be a 1-to-1 sort of?
Yeah, it's a 1-to-1.
Okay, so if you have 1 Bitcoin, you're going to get 1 Bitcoin gold.
Yeah.
If you have it held in the right wallet.
Which people are speculating is going to cost $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's worth it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily worth the fees and the possible mistakes that could come along with transferring Bitcoin out of a hard wallet onto an exchange or something like that, or onto Coinbase. If you own something that's $5,000, you're not going to want to risk that for $50.
Right, but that's just speculation.
That's like
it could be
Floyd Mayweather bet.
Yeah.
No one thought that Bitcoin Cash was going to balloon like it did either, though. I mean, of course, it went back down to, it came back down to earth. But for a minute there, Bitcoin Cash was at like $1,500.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 15.
Yeah, for like a second.
Oh, okay. Wow. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about all these forks. I think there's lots of manipulation going on, and the guy I did a little bit of research into this Bitcoin Gold guy. His name's Jack Liao, Liao. His job is he manufactures mining equipment to mine Bitcoin.
Right.
So he manufactures these things.
Where's
called
this guy from?
China.
Okay.
China. He manufactures these ASIC miners, ASIC. It stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit. So it's basically a computer that's just dedicated to a specific application. Okay. In this case, mining Bitcoin.
Right.
So this new Bitcoin Gold is ASIC resistant, which means you can't use these application specific integrated circuits to mine Bitcoin Gold.
Okay.
The point of that is that since there's ASIC mining, there's all these ASIC miners mining Bitcoin right now, it's kind of eliminated the market for individual smaller miners to mine Bitcoin.
So you'd have to have a farm set up.
No, to mine Bitcoin Gold, they're saying you could mine it on your freaking PC,
right?
With a CPU,
gotcha.
Because it doesn't
because
require
mining Bitcoin right now is basically out of reach for the individual miner.
For anyone who realistically wants to do it.
And from what I can understand, these mining pools are not really. They're kind of a scam.
They're not profitable.
They're not profitable.
Or they're
so
not
basically, what this guy's saying is that we're going to get it back to the point where people can actually mine for Bitcoin Gold.
Yeah, and they won't be making a ton of money, obviously, because
right,
Bitcoin Gold isn't supposed to be worth that much.
Maybe it will be someday.
But it's supposed to get more people involved. It's just weird that this guy, Jack Liao, he manufactures mining equipment. He manufactures these ASIC miners.
Right.
And now he's in charge of a version of Bitcoin that's ASIC resistant, that he doesn't use these mining things that he's been manufacturing.
Well, maybe he's going to start building Bitcoin Gold specific mining rigs.
He's probably got something planned.
He's probably got something planned, and once it comes out, then he's going to be like, once the Bitcoin Gold comes out, then he announces like, oh, here's the new miner for this kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
My problem, these kind of, as someone who's not super techie, and someone who is kind of late to Bitcoin in general, I already find it hard to figure out a point to get into Bitcoin now because of how much it's risen since I've been aware of it. When I started kind of following this stuff, it was at 2,700.
Well, so, no, yeah, 27.
So it's more than doubled.
Yeah.
Of course, I did get in. I would have liked to obviously put in more money than I did.
Right. But no one knew what was going on.
No one knew what was going on.
There was a fork. Is it going to go to 500? No one knew what was going on with that.
Well, that's the thing. So it's like, it's really, really difficult to figure out how to get into this stuff. And so I wonder, I'd like to see, instead of these forks, instead of these coins that don't do anything, I'm kind of surprised that we don't see more love for Neo right now.
I think we're going to see a crazy boost post fork.
You think so?
I mean, I think it's going to be similar.
That the Bitcoin stuff, but Bitcoin itself has risen so much.
Exactly. That's why everything dropped. I mean, the charts looked so good when we bought Neo, and they just, everything got dumped because they're selling Neo, they're selling Ethereum, they're selling Litecoin for Bitcoin Gold in hopes that when the transfer happens and the hard fork happens, they'll have this extra amount of Bitcoin Gold.
Right.
So that's all this is. It's like a weird market manipulation thing.
And you think it's that, and maybe a combination of a lot of new people coming into Bitcoin.
Oh, a ton of new people.
But these new people still have no idea that there's all these alts out there.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they just think of Bitcoin as the only thing. And
I think we're going to see a massive dump of Bitcoin Gold, and it's going to flow right into the alts. And this is the best time to buy alts. I mean, that's my hypothesis. That's what people are saying online. that makes sense to me. You know, that's exactly what happened with the last fork, and with this kind of stuff, history tends to repeat itself.
I agree, and I wish there was a way to buy, say, Neo with fiat.
I think you can on Binance.
Is that true?
I'll double check, but
we should look into that, because my whole problem with buying these alts right now is I don't want to use Bitcoin to buy them.
Right. Well, why don't you just buy $200 worth of Bitcoin, hold your Bitcoin, and hold $100 worth of Bitcoin and spend $100 on alts.
I know, but if I'm buying $100 worth of Bitcoin to spend, the value of it is inherently lower, because of how much money I've had to spend to get. You know what I'm saying?
Because of the fees and everything.
Or no, what? I'm saying like if Bitcoin's worth like $2,000.
Yeah.
And I buy $100 worth it.
Yeah.
It's that $100 worth of Bitcoin is worth more than if Bitcoin's at 5,000 and I buy $100 worth.
Yeah, you get like 0.01.
Yeah, it's like half.
0. Yeah.
I have half the buying power.
Right.
So if I could just go straight dollar to Neo, if I could just like set up my bank account to just buy Neo with dollars, and Neo's $28 versus having to buy
Bitcoin first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see what the advantage would be to going straight to Neo.
Isn't the wouldn't the higher that the price of Bitcoin is, the lower my dollar buying power is?
With Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So then once I buy it and go to sell it to buy Neo, it's worth less than if it. Do you see what I'm saying?
A little bit, but I think you have to just sort of take the loss and think of it as a long-term thing,
right?
And see like, well, Neo's $30 right now. It was $60.
So I'm still buying $30 worth of Neo I'm still buying 3 Neo with $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. It's also the transfer fees and
there
things
are
like
fees,
that from
yeah,
Coinbase.
And the time. Yeah, it would be nice if there was but it's just not popular enough in America.
I'd rather just be able to pay a one-time fee off of those dollars like I do when I purchase the Bitcoin versus the transferring.
I hate those fees for Bitcoin.
Man. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
$5, $7.
Yeah, exactly.
To send money.
Well, and the higher the value of the Bitcoin, the more the fee is. So it's like.
And then the more you're losing. Like I spent $7 transferring some Bitcoin back in June.
Right.
But now that would be like $14, $15.
Exactly.
It's freaking absurd. That's why I like Neo, because, I mean, not to like plug Neo again, but I mean, I did buy a little bit of Neo before that crazy dip, which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You're supposed to sell it before the dip.
Sure.
But it shocked me how fast it transferred to my Neon wallet.
Right.
From Bittrex.
Right.
People are complaining here and there about like, oh, you won't be able to withdraw funds from Bittrex. You won't be able to draw funds from Poloniex. Neo transferred within, like, it was a good amount of Neo.
Right.
Like probably under 1,000, but around there.
Right.
And it transferred in like under 2 minutes.
Right.
From my Bittrex wallet to my Neon wallet.
Right.
Which is great.
Right.
I mean, it's like
you have 1,000 Neo?
No, $1,000 worth of Neo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, Jesus fucking Christ.
1,000 Neo would be. I mean, that'd be nice. You'd be making like 10 gas a month or something. I don't know. Like you'd be making a lot of money.
That's my one kind of. This is the one kind of thing that concerns me about Bitcoin, and not the speed of transfer or whatever, you know, because the idea is that we wouldn't have to transfer it to convert it to dollars. We'd be using it as its own currency.
But even if you're using it at a Starbucks, you're using it at a Walmart, Walgreens, it still has to be fast.
Sure.
It has to be even faster than Neo is right now. It has to be like, that's what they're doing with all these forks. That's the point of these forks, by the way.
Yes, it's to speed up
the transaction process. And another point about Bitcoin Gold is one of the reasons they're making it is so they can test out these new potential forks and these potential shifts they're going to make to Bitcoin.
Right.
They're going to, test them out on Bitcoin Gold first.
I have no problem with the speed, honestly, as far as like, if you want to buy something, a cup of coffee with Bitcoin, and how long would it take before it transfers? A few hours, probably.
I mean, depends on how much of a fee you pay.
Okay. whatever.
Yeah, I think the higher the fee, the more the miner's going to want to process the fee, so the faster your transaction gets processed.
Right. The problem that is that people, if you buy a cup of coffee for 3.0000000 Bitcoin,
Yeah,
and it ends up being $3, and then a month from now, that cup of coffee was worth $20.
Yeah.
That you bought, and now what people are saying, the only problem I kind of see is that, I mean, that cup of coffee could be worth negative money in a month.
you could have made money.
You could have made
not likely at this point,
right? Not likely, but
if you buy it and then it dips, it's like, hey, I just made
I got a free cup of coffee.
Pretty much, yeah.
The problem is if people decide that they're just going to hold Bitcoin and never use it for transactions, does it have any intrinsic value at that point, or is it just being digital gold that's
a
being
commodity?
hoarded?
Yeah, it kind of crosses the border from currency to commodity,
right?
Which is kind of interesting about Neo, because it's like the Neo version of Neo is a commodity because it can't be divided,
right?
But gas can be infinitely divisible like Bitcoin, and
Right.
that's sort of the currency that they're going to use.
Sure.
So it does draw the line between currency and commodity.
But that's the thing. It's like if people are only using Bitcoin to convert it to fiat money, then is it really a currency itself?
Yeah, because they're not just doing that. They're
Well, I'm just saying if people continue to hoard it, you know, if people just continue to buy it and sell it for dollars, but they're not actually using it to buy a cup of coffee. They're not buying physical goods with it. It's just being traded back and forth between currencies.
I think that's the point
and then
of
when
all
we
these.
basically mined all. We have what, like 5 million more Bitcoin to mine, something like that.
4 or 5, yeah.
Something like that. And then at that point, there's no more to mine, and people are just like basically hoarding it.
Or using their Bitcoin Cash.
I don't know.
I think that's what they're trying to do with these forks. It's
Right.
like, don't want to spend your Bitcoin? Here's some free Bitcoin Cash. Get that circulating. Hodl your Bitcoin. Because holding, whatever you want to say, it incentivizes the price to go up because there's less circulating supply.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's also what's interesting. Neo, God, I sound like such a Neo shill, but I really want the price to go up.
Well,
but it incentivizes people to hold their money because you accumulate this
right.
gas.
And I want the price to go up too, but I also want to see some more technology in this stuff too. You know, I want to see like Patientory succeed, and I want to see.
Oh, Patient! I was reading on Twitter before I came here. They had some fucking issues.
I just saw something on it. I didn't read the whole thing. What happened to them?
Something I didn't read the whole thing either, but something with the FDA or something not approving their thing, and like some person in charge, CEO stepping down.
Oh, really?
Maybe it was FUD. Maybe it was FUD.
I saw a tweet about that, and I scrolled past it, and then I tried to find it again, and I couldn't, and I assumed that it was something good.
Yeah. Oh.
But
yeah,
I dumped all my Patientory a couple of weeks ago just because like I said, I was like all in on. I tired of like kind of playing this game of trying to figure out what's going to happen, and I just said fuck it. I just bought Neo, and because Neo had dipped, and I was just like whatever. I'm just going to get more Neo, and I know it's going to make gas, and whatever happens at this point. And
pretty much.
And if the fucking sky falls, I already know like that I did get in at such a low price point originally that I feel fine about my initial investment to like at least screw around now.
I think so.
I don't have any guilt involved, but that's interesting. I'm going to look into that whole Patientory thing. But I'd like to. But my point is that for Neo, it's not that I want to shill Neo or whatever. It's just that the idea of like the blockchain and smart contracts and things like this, and some of this technology or Omise Go, or whatever. Some of these technologies that can then perhaps help out developing nations with fighting inflation and fighting things like hurricanes and banks and
disasters,
banking fraud, whatever it is. housing bubbles, housing crisis, whatever, kind of the original idea of the Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to see more of that and less people just being like, oh, Bitcoin's worth 5,000 now. Like, I'm gonna buy more. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that? What is that doing to help the world?
I mean, it's not much, I guess. Everyone's just trying to get a Lambo. If you look at like Twitter and crypto and all that, they're always talking about getting a Lambo. It's it's a little bit selfish, self-centered at this point, very greedy. But I think ultimately that's how it has to be in the beginning stages. People have to get, you have to get the mass audiences kind of buying it just to make some money, and then it'll turn and evolve into something more.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, I didn't have a lot prepared for this episode, and I think we're kind of just getting into like the philosophical ideas of it, which is
there's news.
That's fine. Yeah, that's why I was gonna bring us to the fucking news.
We got news.
Yeah, give us some news, and I'll comment on it.
There was a man. He sold everything.
Is this a haiku?
It's a news article I summarized.
Poem.
There's a man in the Netherlands
who sold
everything.
Everything
he had for Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
And then he's living in the woods. He's 39 years old. He's some guy living in the woods in the Netherlands. He's waiting for crypto to take off. And since that article was written, it has.
Okay. I think I saw that too. How much so he has a family too, right? This guy?
I think so.
He's like
yeah.
Captain Fantastic or whatever that fucking movie is or whatever.
No, this guy I think is by himself. He's just a 39-year-old bachelor.
I'm pretty sure he has a family.
Really?
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So he sold everything for Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
How much money did he sell? How much money did he get from selling everything?
How many Bitcoin?
No, dollars.
I don't think he disclosed it. I don't think he wants anyone to know.
He doesn't know. Okay, so he didn't say how.
But I mean, you could speculate. It's 30,000, probably 40,000.
Well, if he sold his house and everything, I mean, he bought.
Maybe,
well, okay, let's say he had $100,000.
Sure. Okay.
So that we can make it like round number or whatever. So that's
what 20?
20 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So he has 20 Bitcoin now, and where is he living? In the woods?
In the Netherlands, in some campsite.
Like just like a KOA?
Just like, yeah. What's KOA?
Like the campgrounds, like KOA campgrounds, like the Camping Association of America. I don't
yeah,
know.
The Camping Association. He's of the Netherlands. KON.
I wonder. I mean, so he's just homeless, basically.
Basically, he's like a really rich homeless guy.
Right. It's interesting because I mean I don't think that's the worst idea in the world, really.
I don't either.
There could be way worse things to.
You tell me that 2 or 3 years ago, I'm like, you're nuts. You tell me that now, I'm like, it's an experience. It made me think about just going on the freaking Pacific Crest Trail. It's this trail in California. It takes you like 6 months to do it.
Like the John Muir Trail?
Yeah, one of those. Mm-hmm. Just take all your money or some of it, put it in crypto, and then fucking go on an adventure.
I have a van.
Come back. Yeah.
I have a van.
Come back and see what happens.
If I put all the money that I had into Bitcoin and just decided I was going to like take my surfboard in my van and like drive around and go surfing and do like odd jobs.
Try to make it work, yeah.
For a year and then come back and see what happens. I mean, is that any more insane than like going to fucking college right now and spending $50,000 a year on a degree when like fucking like when there's a fucking million hurricanes fucking hitting everybody and like shit's just getting fucking crazy like on a day-to-day basis, and there's dudes fucking firing guns out of windows and murdering 60 people at once, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy times. Yeah.
It seems almost crazier
to go to school.
Especially when you buy into like this American dream idea right now.
Getting a bachelor's degree, getting a great job, working your way up that corporate ladder.
Because there's so little guarantees right now.
Oh yeah.
But I think I don't think obviously we're not the first fucking people to think about this, because you see these fucking like every day there's more and more like fucking militia dudes out there. There's fucking doomsday preppers, like, like, I mean,
that's me. I'm on the border. Doomsday prepper. I got my solar panels.
I know.
I got I got a USB lighter, which is kind of cool because I could charge it with the solar panel.
I'm just saying that stuff, you might be maybe one step ahead of me, but I'm following it. That stuff's starting to sound less and less crazy, not just to me, but to a wider swath of people.
Yeah.
Regardless of their upbringing, I think, people of all races and ages and things like that, just because of what's going on in the world, are seeing things like that as this guy's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, this guy's fucking nuts. Is he nuts?
I think it's shifting. More people are like, maybe, and some people are like, hell yeah, that guy's got it going on, and
Exactly.
some people are like, this guy's insane. Mm-hmm. Don't read those. And that's like,
everyone's always going to have their opinion on it, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's starting to shift.
It is. There's a shift
to where you see that, like 10 years ago, everyone would have been like, oh, look at this fucking nut job. Now
Yeah.
I think, you ask 10 people about it, and like half will probably go like, oh, I could see that.
It's kind of a cool idea, like a dream come true kind of thing. It's like, imagine you're a millionaire in a few years. Like this guy, it works. Bitcoin's worth 20, 30 grand.
Right.
Whatever. He's a millionaire. He's got totally anonymous. He's totally off the grid. He knows how to fend for himself. He knows how to survive. He knows what it's like to live at the bottom. He doesn't have like the fame that comes along with being wealthy in this country,
God,
where you
yeah.
have people coming out of the woodwork being like, hey man,
Well, the
let
dream,
me get a handout,
I think we've talked about this every episode in the last 4, I feel like, and like you see what's coming out with Twitter and stuff, like on like the Harvey Weinstein thing. That guy. Now it's like David Cross.
David Cross, what did he do?
Oh, he's
in trouble?
He's in trouble. Go look it up. I don't even want to fucking.
Poor guy.
It's not like that, but a different thing.
Maybe not poor guy. Maybe fuck that guy and throw him in a well. I don't know what you do with these.
Wait,
it's
fuck
crazy.
that guy and throw him in a well.
I mean, like with Harvey Weinstein.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Is it one of those things?
No,
with
no,
David
no, no.
Cross?
It's different.
Oh.
It's like a race. It's like a racial thing.
No. Jeez, they're coming out of the woodwork.
But that's
throw
what
the
I'm
book at
saying,
people.
though, is
Have you heard about the hoop earrings? Like they're like saying people can't wear hoop earrings. They're just going all crazy. They're crazy.
I saw it on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh,
actually.
maybe that's where I saw that too.
What was the other one that they say?
Mexican food. You can't cook Mexican food unless you were like born in.
Rick Bayless apparently is not allowed to cook Mexican food.
It's that was yeah.
Well, he's like a like a sort of a Mexican food, and
Who's
like
going along
culture
with this,
like a scholar.
Yeah.
But
or
whatever.
dreads. You can't wear dreads.
Well, you
It's
shouldn't
like,
wear dreads.
Why not? The Vikings wore dreads.
I'm not gonna.
The freaking
I'm not gonna,
Norse Vikings wore dreads.
I'm not gonna get into
when
like
they
a
were
weird
fighting battles with.
Here, talking to the microphone. Talking to the microphone. Not getting into any sort of like alt-right political like or
saying Norse people had
I'm not gonna talk
dreadlocks.
about,
Nordic warriors had
any
dreadlocks
sort of-
is alt-right apparently.
Not-
But how does that work?
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that I'm not going to get into anything like that. What I'm saying is, because that's not what this podcast is about, and there's plenty of other people
keep
that
it crypto.
and 2 white guys debating it always sounds bad anyway. So I'm not going to get into that.
Fair
thing
enough.
with you.
Fair enough.
There's other people that are doing it.
Pretty soon they're going to come for crypto, though. That's the point of
Who?
the conversation. Whoever is saying this cultural appropriation, whoever's propagating this cultural appropriation bullshit, they're going to be like, straight white men have all the crypto. I swear to God, it's going to happen.
I think they do. I think we do.
Because, why? I didn't step on anyone's throat to buy Neo. It's just
straight. This
Yeah.
is the oldest argument in the world to have this, like, to say. You know what I mean? Like you sound like, you know what I'm saying?
all right.
What I'm saying is that people are going to start, and we've said this before, are going to value anonymity more so than fame, I believe.
Yeah.
Because the thing about the fame thing now is, with this social media stuff, is that regardless of whether you agree with your opinion on someone being racist or not, you can easily go out and say that they are racist, and you can get hundreds of other people to agree with you, whether
like
they
cherry
know.
picking information, or
No. Like, basically, these people were saying that David Cross said something racist. He's saying isn't blah, blah, whatever. But there's thousands of people that are now like, this guy's a racist.
because it puts that question out there.
Exactly.
And
And
is
then
this
people
guy a
are
racist? And you automatically have to have an answer. Yes, he is. No, he's not.
Right.
And it polarizes people.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is that, people always want to be rich and famous, Whereas I feel like it's these days it's so much smarter to be rich without people knowing.
Well, it's always been.
Well, it always has been.
It's really
but
hard. It's really hard to be rich and not have people come knocking down your door and being like, "That guy is the guy with a ton of money."
Right.
You know, with Forbes 500 list. You know, making it. We have lists for that. There's lists of rich people.
Fonzie. No.
Is this what I sound like on the podcast? I'm like screaming
Fonzie.
about. Hey, Fonz.
Jesus Christ, Fonz.
Buddy.
Hey. Fonzie's joining in on the podcast.
Yeah,
all
there's
of a sudden. He's getting all pissed off at your cultural appropriation because he's a Chihuahua.
I'm appropriating dog culture.
Yeah.
I guess.
Let me go get him real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, let's bring him on here. We're gonna see what Fonzie has to say about the future of crypto and technology. Jack Liao and his ASIC resistant miners. Yeah, we're moving. Well, we got news. There's news.
No, I want you to keep reading the news. I just we're almost done with this topic, and I'm gonna have Fonzie
the fame versus.
Here. I just meant that this guy, what I would do if I was this guy, and say that he lives in the woods for 4 years, and he makes a fuck ton of money. He, like you said, he knows how to live off the land now. Mm-hmm. He knows what it's like to live with nothing. Just fucking build like a small cabin and then just chill.
And we'll never know.
We'll
never know. You know, it's a beautiful story.
And I see that, and that doesn't seem insane to me. It seems insane to me to be on the Forbes 500 list with millions of dollars in houses, and then having people constantly trying to bring you down.
And you constantly trying to find a new way to fuck people over so that you could just maintain the crazy lifestyle that you've been living for too long.
Well, as they say, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than the rich man to get into heaven. So there you go.
The Catholic Church, or who's they?
I think it's Catholic Church.
Jesus.
I think it's Catholic Church, but I think
Jesus.
Yeah. No, someone like Jesus.
And I said we're not theologists.
Theologists.
Theology? Is that
no, theology.
Anyways, there is theologians. Yeah, see, there's something. The government screwed up when they sold. Okay, so back when the Silk Road closed, the government seized. I'm looking at 300. They seized a ton of Bitcoin.
Right.
Basically.
From what? Oh, from
the Silk Road.
Guy.
From the Dread Pirate Roberts,
yeah.
the EPR guy.
What's Dread Pirate Roberts' name? The guy that they say is Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, he's in jail. I forget his name right now. He's screwed.
Andrew something. Poor guy. Have you seen that documentary?
Yeah, it's really good.
Brutal.
The Deep Web.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I feel really bad for that guy.
But yeah, they took his Bitcoin. They sold it a few years ago. I don't know, 2012. The Bitcoin price when they sold it was $339.
They sold it?
They sold it for $50 million.
Wow.
And shoot, I should have written it down. But I think in today's day, today it's stream it would be $600 million.
They sold it for $50 million.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin was worth $300 a piece when they sold it.
$350. Yeah.
No, it's got to be worth way more than $600 million. It's got to be $6 billion.
Maybe it's 600. Maybe it's $6 billion.
I think it's probably $6 billion.
Isn't $600 million $6 billion? No, it's 6,000 million. Anyway, they screwed up. And then we're gonna move right into Julian Assange's tweet. Did you see that one?
No.
Well, he tweeted.
What did our albino friend in the north say?
He's tweeted at the U.S., I guess.
Oh, at the U.S.?
He was just like, at the U.S. He said, thanks, U.S., for prohibiting PayPal and credit cards from processing WikiLeaks donations.
Oh, really? Because I remember.
Because back in they cut him off. The U.S. government with the Patriot Act.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Obama didn't want him saying all the shit he was going to say about Hillary this past election. Right. He said it anyway because he had the Bitcoin donation going since 2012 when Bitcoin was $100, $200. Mm-hmm. You know, people were probably donating whole coins to WikiLeaks at one point.
Sure.
So who knows how much money in Bitcoin.
You cannot donate to WikiLeaks via PayPal?
No, PayPal, American Express, MasterCard.
Interesting, because I was on Wikipedia, not WikiLeaks, obviously.
Yeah, a little different there. One is completely in line with the narrative, and one is going against the grain. But yeah,
What was I going to say about that? Fuck. Oh, did you see Kim.com's tweet about... Well, basically, it's a series of tweets. I mean, his whole goal... Did you watch the Kim.com documentary?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It's so good.
I want to watch that tonight.
Pretty fascinating.
I didn't know there was a documentary.
Yeah, it's just called... I think it's just called Kim.com.
Oh, I'll check that
or
out.
.com or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. But, you know, his whole... I mean, he fucking hates Hillary Clinton, hates Obama, hates the Democratic Party in general.
The deep state. He hates the deep state.
Well, and also, I mean, you know, Harvey Weinstein, because...
Oh, you mean the Democratic Party's like huge contributor, even though they're saying only donated $10 million? How much he was responsible for donating, all the influence he had. If you don't donate to Hillary, your career's done, kind of shit. Yeah, it's way more than 10 million.
Exactly.
He basically is the Democrat. No, I'm just kidding. He's bad though. He's
but
a bad guy.
you know, .com. You know, they basically took him down because Harvey Weinstein used his leverage. Because he was...
Oh, I didn't know it was Harvey Weinstein.
Well, because he was fucking with Hollywood's movie money.
With their money, yeah.
So, god damn it.
Fonzie. Easy, Fonz. So our third member of the podcast, Fonzie, has decided to go a little rogue. And basically, you could take a second to talk about Bittrex is suspending unverified accounts. If you are on Bittrex right now, I would suggest verifying your account. So, I would do that while we wait for Jed and Fonzie to come back. It's really simple. Log into Bittrex, go in the top right corner, verify your account. You know, you might have to take a photo of your ID. Your passport, give me your social security number, but they are suspending. Oh, I'm just telling everybody that they're suspending tracks at Bittrex. But yeah.
So this fucking guy, he didn't speak English, so I think that's why the confusion. But
it's an issue of not speaking English in America.
Well, come on, this guy poor guy. He didn't speak English, so he came to the house just now in the middle of our podcast.
Yeah,
and. I asked him I was like, what can I do for you? And he said, oh, I'm here for the damage to my car. And I said, what damage? And he showed me this piece of paper that someone had left a note on his car saying, hey, I fucked up your front fender. And they left their phone number. But I don't understand. He just came to our house for that.
There was no address?
No, there was no address.
Maybe he's knocking on everyone's door.
I don't know. It was really weird.
And asking them.
But that's why Fonzie was barking. So, so Kim.com. What were you telling everybody just now?
Bittrex is suspending unverified accounts.
Bittrex is suspending unverified accounts.
Mostly in the Middle East, Syria, and Turkey. And I'm assuming that's because of
pressure for making sure they're not
terrorism.
funding ISIS or something like that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
This has been a chaotic fucking episode. That's
sure. We're all over the place today. Episode 7, it's like historically chaotic.
What was I saying? Oh, so the thing is that this is his moment for revenge, this whole Weinstein case.
Yeah.
Because now he's basically wants to hire like a law firm in Los Angeles to go after as many sort of Hollywood executives or whoever.
I hear there's a lot of bounties for those people. Like Peter Thiel came out and was like, I'll offer any woman who's been assaulted $100,000.
Yes.
For this kind of thing.
Well, he's the one that also funded Hulk Hogan's case
against
Gawker.
Yeah, good.
And I think they're having their moment. It's a culture war out there right now. It's insane.
There's a war being waged, and one side is jerking off into potted plants, and the other side is trading Bitcoin and trying to hack the world.
Well, the other side is all whatever.
There's all sorts of
You're getting really crazy on this.
Well,
this episode.
Yeah, maybe
he's on fire.
We got Putin. He had a meeting last Tuesday. We got Vladimir Putin having a meeting.
Putin Classic.
The title of the meeting. Well, I don't know what the title is. I don't know the title of a meeting, but it's crypto. He basically just told the central bank to not build any unnecessary barriers for cryptocurrency. He told the Russian central bank to say, just let this cryptocurrency thing unfold as it will.
Really?
And don't put up any walls for it.
I've been seeing these hilarious ads on YouTube. This is really weird. So like, because of the amount of like searching I'm doing, like with like Neo. And, have you seen these fucking like the Russian?
The Udemy?
I don't know the Russian Bitcoin miner ad. Like it's like a fucking.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's really weird. It's like you just queue up like a video and this ad comes on beforehand, but it's like this Russian guy sitting in like a fucking like an office space with it doesn't even look real. It looks like a fucking Tim and Eric sketch. It's like with another old Russian guy like typing in a computer, and it already looks like completely out of date and weird, and like that weird lost time of like no one knows like when this was shot kind of thing. But he's telling you about his Bitcoin mining or Ethereum or whatever it is company, and how he's invested this amount of money, and how if you sign up for it, you can take it over. But it's all in Russian, so there's like a translator going on too. It's fucking insane, man. I don't know what's going on.
What is going on? Is that like, are they manufacturing that to make people be like, oh, this is clearly a scam? Or is it clearly a scam? Or what is going on?
It doesn't even seem real.
It doesn't. It doesn't really. But it's $6,000 as of the podcast. $6,000 for a Bitcoin.
All right. Well, do you have any more news?
Not really worth talking about, but yeah, it's a good podcast.
Yeah, I think ending on the fact that it's $6,000 and that everyone's losing their minds, us included.
People are going crazy times.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, have a good one.